The real question is, are buyer's agents worth it? Or are they a waste of your money? We're going to be breaking down the pros, the cons, and the fees when it comes to working with a buyer's agent. Now, I myself am a buyer's agent and I've been running my business for over 2 years now. I'm also a registered chartered accountant with CAANZ. Now, the buyer's agency space has been growing rapidly over the last few years, and there's been lots of people talking about whether you need a buyer's agent, lots of buyer's agents popping up because it's a growing industry, and you need to work out whether a buyer's agent is right for you. So hold up. Before we go any further, let's just quickly define what a buyer's agent is. They are a licensed real estate agent that is there to help you buy, negotiate, and secure the right property purchase for you. The buyer's agent acts on your behalf and should be paid for by the buyer. So let's break down some of the pros of working with a buyer's agent. The first pro of working with a buyer's agent, whether you're an owner-occupier or an investor, is generally a buyer's agent is going to have access to more property. Whether it's on market, off-market or pre-market, buyer's agents generally build their network, create relationships with agents, and build their own funnel to get access to more deals. This is exactly what we do here at Purpose Property. Now, we're specifically based in Southeast Queensland, and so we target local agents and local sellers in the Southeast Queensland area and look to build our funnel to get access to more of these deals. So if you're trying to jump on at 8 p.m. at night after getting home from a long day of work and trying to find the right property versus someone like myself doing this day in, day out with a team of staff members, then at the end of the day, you've got to work out whether you think you can find the right properties and get access to those deals, whether they're off market, pre-market, or on market. The next pro of working with a buyer's agent is the negotiation strategy and tactics. With my background as a chartered accountant and obviously experience working with many buyers as a buyer's agent and building my own portfolio, you have the experience of someone potentially buying a property every week like we are here at Purpose Property. So if you can imagine, you might buy 1 or 2 or 3 properties, and most Australians won't buy more than 2 or 3 properties in their journey. And if you're coming up against someone who buys a property every week, negotiates with agents on a regular basis, whether it's a private treaty or whether it's an auction, generally a buyer's agent is going to have more experience than you in negotiations, and the buyer's agent is also going to remove the emotion from the situation. A lot of the owner-occupier clients that I work with in our buyer's agency here at Purpose Property can get quite emotional about their property purchase. But my role is to remove the stress from their situation, take the emotion out of the deal, and show them the cold hard facts. Show them the data supporting the purchase, both quantitative and qualitative data, and let them make the decision. Because at the end of the day, if you're thinking about working with a buyer's agent, it's your money. And so the buyer's agent is acting on your behalf. They should be strong in their negotiation strategy and tactics, and they should also remove the stress from the situation and remove the emotion throughout that buying process. The next positive of working with a buyer's agent is avoiding costly mistakes or buying a lemon. If you end up buying a property in the wrong location, a property that doesn't have growth potential or not enough land size, then you could end up missing out on massive amounts of capital growth and cash flow potential if you had bought the right property. So paying a buyer's agent for their time to help you secure the right property for the right price in the right location can make a massive difference to your portfolio's future. This is particularly important for investors because compared to an owner-occupier can make a little bit more of an emotional decision. At the end of the day, you're buying your own home for yourself, and it's not as much of an investment decision for most people. But when it comes to investors and buying that first and second property, that can really set you up in the long term for building a multi-million-dollar property portfolio and ultimately creating choices in your life and creating more cash flow that you can live off in the future. So let's go through some negatives of working with a buyer's agent. Now, some of the cons for buyers may be that you don't understand all of the research or due diligence that is done throughout the buying process. A good buyer's agent should present this to you as the buyer, but a lot of buyer's agents want to withhold their proprietary knowledge and understanding and generally send properties to you and don't give you a detailed breakdown. Myself here at Purpose Property, we try to show you the 2 levels of due diligence that we do. We have a first level and a second level where we show you our research, show you our price guides, our rental guides, and 3 to 5 points around why we like the property. And then we go to a second level of due diligence, which is more detailed analysis on that property purchase. So if you're working with a buyer's agent, make sure they're going to share their understanding with you and walk you along that journey, because some buyer's agents don't do that. Another negative or another con could be that you don't actually need a buyer's agent. A lot of Australians buy and select their own property. You may have been doing tens of hours of research and know areas very intimately and been building your network. So in that case, the buyer's agent might not be value for money for you. You also might struggle to find a buyer's agent that suits your fit. Whether it's an owner-occupied purchase or an investment, it's very important to choose a buyer's agent that suits your approach and suits your strategy. For example, here at Purpose Property, we are focused on Southeast Queensland for both owner-occupiers and investors. We buy as low as $300,000 all the way up to the $2 million mark here in the Southeast Queensland market. If you're a buyer outside of our focus area, then we're not going to be the right buyer's agent for you. And that's why I've created the Invest with Purpose course and have consulting services to help those people who are outside of our service area. So if you're someone that's got a lot of time on their hands, is very detailed in their research and approach, can negotiate on a property and find the right deal for you, then you're not really going to need a buyer's agent. A buyer's agent is more suited to people who are unsure of what they want to buy and where, and they want a professional to help negotiate and secure the right property purchase for them. I also personally think it's very important that you work with a buyer's agent who's done it before, who is an owner-occupier if you're looking to buy an owner-occupied property, who is a property investor and has built their own property portfolio, and you're looking to emulate that. So I think it's very important to work with a buyer's agent who's done it themselves and not just said they've done it for other people. So now we've gone through some pros and cons, let's discuss buyer's agent fees. And I'm going to share you what our fees are on our website. So let's dive over there. As you can see on screen here are our buyer's agent's fees at Purpose Property. And we try to very competitively price ourselves in the market. You can see that we've got a fixed fee bracket depending on the purchase price. So for purchases between 0 to 700,000, we charge 12,500 including GST. From 700,000 to $1 million, it's 15,000 including GST. From $1 million to 1.3, 17,500. And then for purchases over 1.3 million, we generally charge 1.65%, including GST. We also charge an upfront fee of $4,400, including GST, which is non-refundable. And that's because here in my business, we only work with 6 clients at a time. The reason is it's about quality of service for me. We don't want to take on too many clients that we can't clearly communicate with everyone, give them our full time and attention, and you do work with me directly if you become our buyer's agent client. In some other buyer's agency approaches, they'll push you over to a relationship manager rather than working with the source or the person you thought you'd be working with throughout that buying process. So when it comes to our business, you do work directly with myself, and our fees and charges are $4,400 upfront, and then the remaining amount on success. So let's say you bought a house for $600,000, it'd be $4,400 upfront and $8,100 on success, including GST. Now, in my business, we also donate 10% of our revenue to charity. That's just something we like to do as a business and to show others that you can be generous with your money and to encourage others to do the same in terms of their giving. Now, most other buyer's agents will typically charge about $15,000 plus GST for a purchase around the $700K mark. And a lot of other buyer's agents are using a 2 to 2.5% rate when charging their Sydney and Melbourne clients for their buying fees. This could end up somewhere between $17,000 to $25,000 for a purchase between $800K and $1.2 million. Now, one thing to note, and this is my background as a chartered accountant, is that the cost of a buyer's agent is a capital acquisition cost. And all that means is the cost of a buyer's agent is added to the cost base of your property purchase. So using that example of $600,000, if you were to work with us as your buyer's agent and you bought a property for $600,000 and we charge you a total of $12,500 including GST, then you would be able to add that to your cost base for the property purchase. So instead of your cost base being $600,000, it would be $612,500 when it comes to selling the property in the future. This will increase your cost base and reduce the amount of capital gains tax you'd have to pay on the property when it's sold. Now, I think it's important now we've gone through fee structures, our fee structure, and what other buyer's agents might charge in the market. The most important thing I'd like to touch on in closing out this video is value. You need to work out whether working with myself or working with any buyer's agent for that matter is value to you. Value at the end of the day is going to come down to whether the buyer's agent can help you find the right property for the right price in the right location. Because if you have the time, the skills, and the know-how to actually execute on your next property purchase, then you're probably better off doing it alone. But if you think you need the help, someone else's expertise and skill set, their negotiation tactics and strategy, their in-depth and local knowledge, then you may be better off working with a buyer's agent. It comes down to that value proposition. So work out what's right for you, because a buyer's agent is not going to be for everybody. They can absolutely add value to the buying process and helping you strategize and build a property portfolio or find the right home for you. But you've got to work out whether their fee is worth the value at the end of the day when it comes to acquiring an asset. You need to remember we're spending $500,000 to $1 million here, so a $10,000 to $15,000 to $20,000 fee may well be worth it in that situation because we're dealing with such large numbers. Well, I hope you found it interesting talking about the pros, the cons, and the fees of working with a buyer's agent in 2023. I'd love to hear your thoughts down in the comments below. And if you don't think a buyer's agent's for you, we actually offer a course called Invest with Purpose. The course goes through the chronological order of building a multi-million-dollar property portfolio, and it's exactly for those people who think they can do it themselves and want to build their knowledge and skills through an education course. Emily and I have chatted about the course several times, and we lowered the price to sub $500 because we wanted to allow as many people as possible to access the course. So head over to purposeproperty.com.au and click on course, and you'll be able to see each of the modules breaking down that chronological order of building a multi-million-dollar property portfolio and exactly how Emily and I did it. So thanks for sticking around to the end of this video. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.